Hey, this is Jim at Broadfield Distributing. Thanks for joining us for another Broadfield Liquid Lunch and Learn every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You will see that I am being joined on today's show by Judy at Kiloview. Hey, Judy, how are you?
Hi, Jim. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you
Uh,
so much for
first,
joining us. Broadfield is super excited about adding Kiloview products to our product line, and I invited you to join us today to introduce you to our dealers and to introduce Kiloview and your entire product line. Judy, can you take a brief moment and introduce yourself?
yes, of course, Jim. Thank you for inviting me here. And I'm the Vice President of Kiloview, taking care of our sales and the marketing. Especially, I'm focusing on building our overseas sales channels and all those kind of business development stuff.
And Broadfield is excited to be a part of that. We had a great meeting with you at NAB New York, and that meeting went so well that we went very quickly to proceed with our business relationship so that we could announce to the world during NDI November that Broadfield is now a full line distributor for Kiloview products. Now, Judy, we know Kiloview because of all the great NDI products you make. Some of our dealers are very familiar with Kiloview products as well. Others are not. Can you give us a little introduction and a history about Kiloview?
Yeah, of course. As Kiloview is the total solution provider of IP-based video transmission. So for all the Kiloview products, you can see we are just focusing on IP. And for the NDI products, as you probably know, that Kiloview has a long history with NDI, with new tech, ever since NDI was first announced in 2017. And Kiloview actually is probably the first supplier of all those NDI converters on the world. Talking about the Kiloview company, we actually provide a total solution covering all different kinds of the video inputs or video outputs to provide a solution that's covering for different protocols for different applications. So in general, we say we provide a total solution for any in, any out, anywhere, and that's the reason you can see all the Kiloview products are actually very flexible. We provide all those products with different protocols to suit your different applications. All of those products are professionally designed for broadcast applications, for all those very professional use. And for all those products, we have a kind of ecosystem that's everything can be brought together using our like the KiloLink server to remotely manage all the devices. So we can say Kiloview not only provide the converters, the NDI converters or the SRT converters, but also we provide a ecosystem based on NDI, based on KiloLink, that we can provide you everything you need for your whole workflow, like the source management, for the multi-viewing, for the recording, for, of course, those device management remotely checking the status, and also we provide products and the solutions that can support your talkback with our intercom server, and even we provide all those controllers to make sure for the production and all those process you can easily manage that and very convenient to use.
Absolutely. And one of the things I really appreciate that you said is the IP-based workflow solution. We know Kiloview for your NDI products. As a matter of fact, it was Dr. Andrew Cross who introduced your company to Gary and said, hey, you really have to take
Yeah,
a look at these converters.
yeah.
But you guys are doing full NDI bandwidth, NDI HX, SRT, even RTMP encoders, decoders, pretty much anything that you need to fit into your IP production workflow. Kiloview has a great combination of the hardware, the software, to extend the functionality and to manage your devices and the services to make all that work together. So it really is a reliable and flexible solution that completes your workflow entirely through. So, Judy, what I want to talk about today are those NDI converters, the SRT, NDI, NDI-HX encoders and decoders, NDI software solutions, and everything else that Kiloview has to offer. Our goal for today's show is to give a brief introduction and elevator pitch for our dealers so they know when we take a new product line like Kiloview and add it to our offerings here at Broadfield, just exactly where it fits into what they need to pitch to their customers, how it can be added to the quotes and bids and projects that they're working on today. I'm also looking forward to inviting you and your team to even come back onto our show in the near future to do a deeper dive into some of the training for our dealers who request that. So we'll definitely take advantage of that as well. So
Yeah, I also look forward to that.
yeah, no, absolutely. And we appreciate that. And that's one of the things that we talked about at NAB New York, knowing that we have a partnership that's kicking off where you and your team are so available and willing to help get our dealers the information they need to be successful with the products is important anytime we represent a new product line. So I want to start with the NDI converter series. The NDI converters, again, are going to be the products that most of our dealers who are familiar with Kiloview would know you for. This is kind of like you said, where you started in that NDI space way back in the infancy. And these converters are going to give you the low latency, high image quality, built into hardware that is going to be reliable and flexible in a lot of different workflows. Judy, can you tell us a little bit about the N60?
Yes, of course. The N60 actually is our latest NDI converter that can support both NDI, NDI-HX2, and HX3 all in one with both encoding and decoding. So this actually adopted the latest FPGA technology with our, of course, the codec for H.264 and H.265. So in general, the N60 is a kind of very powerful and professional converter that can handle everything. So as we know, for NDI, there are several versions, and on the market you can see there are different types of the cameras or converters or software products or whatever. And for each product, probably they are using different kind of NDI formats.
Right.
But you know, the N60 actually is the only product on the market that can handle everything. So using the N60, you don't need to worry about what's your destination to receive NDI resources or what is the NDI source coming from which brand of the cameras or from what software products you're having. So just use it. Everyone can be handled for either encoding and decoding. And of course, this product, as we mentioned, is a kind of advanced FPGA technology, so we can support up to 42 10 bits, and also there will be we can support very low latency with high image quality. So that's actually very exciting products.
No, absolutely. We hear from producers all the time who are looking for that NDI converter solution that they can put into their toolkit. So now, no matter where they are or what they run into, they can run to the bag and have the solution that'll work in that production. Having the capability to support NDI, the brand new NDI HX3 or NDI HX2, allows this converter to really be agnostic to whatever system their customers are running or have need for at that time. So it really is a great solution.
Yeah.
And then in addition to the N60, we also have the N50, which is your 12G SDI converter.
Yes,
And
exactly.
And now that's going to offer the same specs, the same features in a 12G SDI model as opposed to the HDMI model in the N60. The N60 is available at a $799 MSRP, the N50 at $999 MSRP. And now those are the latest in the series that complement your bidirectional full NDI converters, which are the models we're looking at here with the N3, N30, N4, and N40. Judy, can you introduce this product line to us?
Yeah, of course. Those N3, N30, N4, and N40 actually are our the existing NDI converters that are very cost effective. The N3 actually is with 3G SDI inputs and outputs, N30 for 12G SDI, and N4 1080p HDMI, and M40 for 4K HDMI. And all those products actually can support both full NDI encoding and decoding. And of course, the functions like PoE, tally, and also, the unique features is all those Kiloview products can support like our KiloLink server for remote management. We support the KIS for intercom, and also for the functions like quick switching. You can, in the decoding mode, you can preset, and you can use a kind of USB keypad for quick switching. So that's generally the very reliable and cost-effective converters already on the market.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think this comparison chart is one that we will use often because it can be set up very easily where you can look at the N3 or the N30 as your SDI models, the N4, the N40 as your HDMI models. You can also look at it with the N3 or the N4 as your HD converters, with the N30 or the N40 as your 4K converters, giving you that support for the higher definition or higher resolutions, I should say. Next, I want to talk about the hockey puck converter that we love so much when we saw this on display, and that is the U40, which is your 4K UHD HDMI to NDI encoder.
Yes. This product actually, when we design the products, we actually want to make it to be a very companion with the PVC cameras, especially those non-NDI cameras. So for example, if customers have very limited budget and they still want to get NDI, then the easiest way is to use the U40 to bring the up to 4K HDMI to full NDI. And at the same time, if your PVC camera can bring IP protocols like RTSP or RTMP, then using the U40, we can convert it to NDI HX. So using using the U40 with very limited budget, you can bring the camera into both full NDI camera and NDI HX camera. And at the same time, the U40 has the DC output to power either your camera or your monitor. So you can just directly attach your camera with our U40, and that's a perfect bundle to bring the cameras into NDI world.
And that's what I really like about it. It really is a perfect companion for a PTZ camera because now I can run my PoE switch with an NDI workflow to the U40 and then use that DC output to power the PTZ camera, allowing you to take that PTZ camera that might not be NDI upgradable and upgrade that very easily with this hardware solution from Kiloview. And now I want to talk about the traditional converters. What I love about the N1 and the N2 is since NewTek discontinued their original Spark converters, we have not had an NDI solution that had Wi-Fi capability. You have that here with the N1 SDI and with the N2 HDMI models, allowing customers who only have access to that wireless network to still get that NDI converter capability.
Yeah, the N1 and N2 actually can support both Wi-Fi or 4G, the external 4G USB dongles, and also Ethernet. If you convert the USB to Ethernet, and it's battery powered. So you can imagine if you choose the N1 or N2, you can do the streaming using NDI for your live production, and is really easy to use.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, we have the E1 and E2 converters, which are hardwired connections in either SDI or HDMI also.
Yeah, and E1 ND and E2 ND actually is our classical converters
Yep.
that can bring SDI or HDMI to NDI HX. But not only NDI HX, actually we support all the different protocols that are commonly applied in markets or in your workflow, like SRT or RTMP, RTSP, UDP, HLS, and everything.
Yep.
So just use one unit and you can bring everything to IP.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely great. And then we also want to talk about a new product that you have available now, and that is the D350 decoder. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the D350 actually is a 4K H.265 decoder that we can bring any type of the IP, including full NDI or NDI HX2 or NDI HX3, SRT, RTMP, RTSP, and everything back to SDI or 4K HDMI. So this actually is a kind of all-in-one decoder. We can bring every IP back to baseband SDI or HDMI. And also, as we previously announced, the D350 actually has some updates. For example, we can support the display showing the IP address and all the key information, so it's more easy to use. And also the function of the D350 is not only a decoder. Actually, we can preview all those IP sources from the web UI. So you can even take the D350 as a kind of multi-viewer that we can bring up to 16 IP workflow, the IP streams to preview, and we can select any of the 9 streams to output through SDI or HDMI. And even for the outputs, you can either do the layout by yourself with grid, or you can do anything picture in picture, picture by picture, or whatever. So you
Sure.
can do all those kind of layouts by yourself.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we talked about in the beginning of the show, in the introduction to Kiloview, is not only do you make these lines of hardware converters, but you have the tools and the software solutions to really get the most out of this NDI production workflow. And that is very obvious here with the Kiloview Multi-View. Can you tell us a little bit more about
Yes.
Multi-View?
Yes, the Multi-View actually was the very initial version of the Multi-View was announced 2 years ago, and it's totally free. So we can easily bring unlimited NDI sources to the software, and you can preview, you can do the free layout, you can output NDI as another source. And recently we updated the Multi-View with the Pro version, which will be server-based. So that means you can either scan the QR code, or you can directly input the IP address on your browser, and anyone in the network can actually do the coordination. Everyone can do the production. They can set up the layouts. Is very flexible and very powerful. And another great news is, we now have the version for Mac OS. So
that is great.
not only Windows, but also for Mac OS. So that's really, really exciting.
Absolutely, and that's a solution that all of our NDI dealers ask about all the time, is more support for NDI on Mac workflows, because that is definitely something that we need more and more of. Now, Judy, I know that there is also a promotion going on right now through the end of the year on the Kiloview hardware converters with Multi-View Pro. If our dealers or your customers, if you have a project that is requiring 4 converters, they will get the free license to Multi-View Pro. Is that correct?
Yes, any of the NDI converters, by any 4 NDI converters, you can get a free Multi-View Pro license for free.
That's excellent. That's an excellent promotion. And it really does make sense for the workflows. And as you can see from the hardware line that we went through, there are so many different solutions that fit into so many different workflows. You'll be amazed that once you start designing your NDI production system, how easy it is to find for these hardware solutions that fit in perfectly for what you need to do. So keeping along the theme of the software, I also want to introduce the NDI recorder available from Kiloview. Judy, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. The NDI recorder actually is a kind of the independent software product that you can run to record your NDI sources. It can support up to 20 channels of the NDI sources up to, of course, it depends on your your PC performance, but it can support up to 20 channels of the NDI for recording with synchronization using the NTP. And also this is, those functions like the free layouts and all those checking the status, different recording strategies are all supported. It's a professional recorder.
And what's great about this in a real world production scenario, it allows you to take your ISO recording from your NDI sources and offload that to a separate workstation and not the same machine that you're driving your live production from as well. Having that capability not only gives you more horsepower and bandwidth to run your production and creating a more stable environment, but it also gives you the redundancy knowing that if something happens to the power in your studio, that those devices that are still running are being recorded somewhere else on the network, allowing you to use the NDI recorder to do all of that. And as we talk about all of these software solutions and the enterprise solutions available, that all comes together with NDI Core. NDI Core is your managing and switching system that really allows our dealers to go in and help set up these production systems, and it allows the producers to access all of the NDI sources anywhere on their network. Judy, can you tell us a little bit more about NDI Core?
Yeah, NDI core actually, for the core is that represents control, organize, route, and everything. So that means the NDI core can do a lot of things.
Sure.
First, we can control and manage all the NDI sources with the inputs and outputs. So we know I know some of the customers, they probably use multicast for the workflow if they have a lot of destinations to use the same NDI source. But actually, we know multicast actually highly depends on the network or the switch or those environments. Using our NDI core, we can easily get rid of all those problems. We can set up the connections with each NDI source, and we can create the NDI virtual outputs according to your needs. So actually depends on your, the server performance. It can be up to more than 100 virtual outputs if the hardware is powerful enough. So that can be very useful for those kind of the big projects or the professional use. And then using the NDI core, we can manage all those inputs and outputs. We can set the control panels for quick switching between the inputs and outputs, and all those switching can be seamless because the connection is already established with the NDI core with the server. And also we support the user-defined looping system that you can set a kind of playlist, and then we can even realize the function like the automatic switching between different NDI sources. So this is actually very, very powerful, especially for projects or customers that has a lot of NDI sources in the network, or they have different destinations and they want to manage all those kind of switching.
Absolutely. This is the type of system that really allows you to scale your production. I know we have a lot of dealers that are installing NDI workflows throughout university campuses. where there's going to be that need to be able to route the video feed from different classrooms across the campus, anywhere on the network, and be able to output to different destinations, whether it's going to go to a private CDN for that class, to a lecture management system, or to something else, that can all be managed very easily and can be scaled depending on the power of the server itself. Next, I want to introduce are the Cube systems, starting with the Cube R1. Judy, can you tell us a little bit more about the Kiloview cubes?
The Cube series actually is a series of products that we're just trying to provide you the turnkey solution for our NDI software systems like the recorder or the core. Previously, as we understand, sometimes customers would prefer to have those, plug and play solution
Sure.
or yeah, to find the correct server to run the Linux, those kind of commands probably is a little bit hard for customers. So we just released this product and we just provide you the turnkey solution. And the Cube R1 actually is the turnkey solution for our NDI recording system. It can support up to 9 channels of the video recording simultaneously.
Yep.
We can, of course, preview the video sources. We have those physical buttons for quick operation for start or stop the recording, to playback, and also to do some kind of those kind of quick operation. And we provide the dual NVMe, so that means we can support all different types of SSD on the market, and of course we support hot swapping. For the recording, we will have a lot of strategies for scheduling recording, for all those very professional functions that will be available with the Cube R1.
No, absolutely. And again, it really reinforces that messaging of the combination between hardware and software. In this case, you're actually developing that software solution into the turnkey system to eliminate that guesswork of what do I need to run this software properly? What do I need to be able to bring this on set and manage my NDI production and my NDI workflow? And that can be done easily with this Cube series like you see here. And Judy, can you tell us a little bit about the S2 HDMI encoders?
Yeah, of course. The S2 actually is the 4K HDMI video encoder, and they can support up to H.265. So with H.265, of course, it will have lower bandwidth, while it can also support higher bit rates if comparing with our other video encoders. And this can also support all the protocols like and they are HX, of course, and SRT, RTMP, RTSP, and everything. And most importantly, it can bring up to 4K 60 in for the inputs. We support HDMI looping, and of course, for recording all those functions. So this is actually a very powerful and the video encoder and with NDI, of course.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out that it does have the HDMI loop through as well, allowing you to do the encoding and still feed in an on-site display through that HDMI loop through, which is obviously a feature that we run into all the time and is a very popular request, especially in the House of Worship marketplace where they're looking for the encoder like that. And then I also want to introduce the P series, which is Kiloview's solution for cellular bonding in the video encoder. Can you introduce these products to us, please?
Yeah, the P series actually is a kind of very popular video encoder that we can support up to 5 channels of the network, including 2 internal 4G modems and 2 external ones by USB. Plus the Wi-Fi. So altogether, there will be 5 channels to make sure the network is stable enough. And the actually, the most important part we would like to talk about is Kiloview actually provide a free bonding server for all the customers to use. So actually, they don't need to subscribe or they don't need to pay any extra cost for using the cloud. They can either use the on-premise server, or they can also run on their own AWS or whatever server to do the bonding. And this bonding actually is very reliable, and we can support different protocols. And even the most important part is if we are now preparing a kind of update, and with this update we can even support NDI. So that means with our bonding server, you can do the live streaming anytime, anywhere in the field or whatever for those outdoor live streaming. And you can use the bonding server to stream with SRT for remote, of course, and RTMT for live streaming, or even NDI for your live production or those kind of applications. So this actually, I think, is very, very unique with this, the price range and the functions and everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know when you combine those two internal modems with two USB modems, a Wi-Fi hotspot, even a plugged-in network connection, having that that many options to bond your data connections is going to ensure that you can send an HD video stream perfectly from just about anywhere in the country. And it really allows you to take advantage of using your cellular data to stream live sports or other events where maybe there isn't a robust network otherwise available. Excellent. Judy, we talked about a lot of different products today, a lot of different solutions, and I think we gave a lot of information for our dealers to be just as excited about Kiloview as we are here at Broadfield. Broadfield has our first shipment of your products arriving in our warehouses as we speak. We will be stocking Kiloview products that we talked about today, both here in New York and at our new BDI West location in California. If you need Kiloview price sheets, website setup information, or any other details, you can reach out to me directly at jim@broadfield.com. For more information, you can also contact your Broadfield sales team at 800-634-5178. Judy, thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited about this partnership with Kiloview.
Thank you, Jim. We also are excited about the partnership with Broadfield, and we look forward to our success on the market. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. And for our dealers, if there is any feedback you have for us on how we can help you be successful with Kiloview products, please let us know. And until next week, tune in every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you.
Broadfield Distributing is a value-added distributor of live production, streaming, video editing, and storage products. We only sell to resellers. We are always looking for new dealers, so call us at 1-800-634-5178 or email sales@broadfield.com. You'll like doing business with Broadfield because we make it easy to do business.